For most of us, the word debt probably makes you cringe a little, right? It brings up feelings of stress, maybe some anxiety. We're taught our whole lives to avoid it, pay it off as fast as you can, and pretty much fear it. But what if I told you that for the wealthy, debt isn't a problem to be solved? What if it's actually one of their most powerful tools for building wealth? Let's break down exactly how they do it. So, just for the next few minutes, I want you to try and completely reframe how you see this word. Because while most people see a trap, the rich, well, they see a springboard. It's not that they just use debt, they've learned to master it. And this isn't just some small part of their strategy either. According to a lot of financial insiders, understanding how to use debt is one of the fundamental reasons the wealth gap just keeps getting wider. So, how do they do it? Well, it all starts with clearing up one massive misconception. Okay, so the first and most crucial lesson you have to get is that not all debt is created equal. Nope, there's a huge dividing line, and being on the wrong side of it, well, that's what keeps most people stuck. So on the one hand, you've got bad debt. This is the stuff we all know about. High-interest credit cards you use for things that lose value, like a new car the second you drive it off the lot or the latest phone. It's debt that just sucks money out of your wallet every single month. But on the other hand, we have good debt. This is debt you take on to buy an asset, something that either goes up in value or, even better, produces its own income. Think a loan for a rental property or maybe to launch a new business. So here's the bottom line, right? Bad debt makes you poorer because it's constantly taking money out of your pocket. But good debt, when you use it the right way, actually puts more money into your pocket. It's honestly that simple, but it's also that profound. And this brings us to a concept that might kind of blow your mind. Wealthy people often avoid using their own cash for big purchases. Why would they do that? Well, it all comes down to one word: leverage. So let's play this out. Imagine a wealthy investor has $1 million sitting in cash. They've got a couple of options for how to put it to work. All right, option A is pretty straightforward. They could just buy one property outright for that $1 million. Simple enough. But check out option B. This is where the magic happens. They take that same $1 million, but instead of buying one property, they use it as a 20% down payment on 5 different $1 million properties. So now they control $5 million worth of assets with the exact same amount of their own cash. And that right there is the whole concept of leverage. It's about using other people's money, in this case the bank's money, to amplify your control over assets and multiply your potential returns. Think about it. When those 5 properties appreciate in value, the investor gets the gains on the full $5 million, not just the $1 million they actually put in. It's a massive difference.
Okay, but I know what you're thinking. How in the world do you handle the payments on 5 properties? This is where the second big rule of the wealthy comes into play. See, they don't see debt as a personal bill that they have to pay.
The absolute golden rule is this: you structure the deal so the asset you just bought with the debt is the one that actually pays for it. You should never, ever be reaching into your own pocket to cover that loan month after month. So let's go back to our rental property example. Here's how it works. Step 1, the tenants in those 5 properties, they pay their monthly rent. Step 2, you use that rental income to cover the mortgage payments, the insurance, the taxes, all the other expenses. And then step 3, whatever is left over is pure profit. And all the while, your tenants are literally paying down your loan and building your equity for you. Someone else is buying you the asset. Now, here's the secret weapon in all of this: inflation. That $1 million loan you take out today, you're paying it back with future dollars. And because of inflation, those future dollars are worth less. But the value of your property and the rent you can charge for it, they're both likely to increase with inflation. So your debt is effectively shrinking in real terms while your asset is growing. It's an incredible advantage. And if all that wasn't enough, the tax code literally rewards you for doing this. The interest you pay on mortgages or business loans, it's often tax deductible. You can also claim something called depreciation, which is like a tax deduction for the wear and tear on your property. And this can dramatically lower your taxable income, even while the property is putting cash in your pocket. These are huge advantages that someone who just buys with cash completely misses out on. This all culminates in really powerful strategies like what's known as the BRRRR method. It stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat.
Basically, investors use this to buy a distressed property, fix it up to increase its value, rent it out, and then refinance to pull all their original cash back out. They get to keep the cash flowing asset, and now they have their capital back to go do it all over again. It's like a cheat code for growing a portfolio at lightning speed. Now, I have to be very, very clear about this. This is an advanced strategy, and it comes with some very real risks. This is not a game for amateurs, not by a long shot. The wealthy don't just go out and blindly borrow money. No way. They manage their risk. They have large cash reserves set aside for unexpected repairs or vacancies. They have teams of expert advisors. They have the right insurance policies. And they always have multiple exit strategies planned out if a deal starts to go south. This is a highly calculated system, not a lottery ticket. I absolutely love this analogy. Think of debt like a chainsaw. In the hands of a skilled professional, it can build a beautiful house. But in the hands of someone who has no idea what they're doing, it can cause catastrophic damage. The tool itself isn't good or bad. It's all about the skill of the person using it. So let's bring this all home. That old rule we were all taught, all debt is bad, is just wrong. It's incomplete. The real rule is that unproductive debt, the kind that drains your income for things that lose value, is bad. But strategic debt, used to acquire income-producing assets, well, that's one of the most powerful wealth-building tools on the entire planet. Understanding this difference is really the first step. It's all about shifting your mindset from fearing debt to respecting its power. So the question I want to leave you with is this. If money has a set of rules, and you just learned some of the biggest ones the wealthy use, what could you achieve if you finally decided to learn how to play the game?